Welcome to Serenity Rising Healing with Cancer. I'm Bron Watson, and I want to welcome you to not just a podcast, but to a community. A new way of seeing, feeling, and walking through the chaos of cancer. Welcome back to Serenity Rising, it's Bron. Today's episode is part of a series I'm creating around the Serenity Now cards. It's a deck of 52 emotion cards I've developed as part of the Serenity Project. So here's how they work. When things are feeling intense, and it's time to name that emotional feeling, but not sure what to call it, you look through the deck and draw out the card that matches what you're feeling right now. It's about naming your emotion because sometimes just putting a word in what's going on inside us is the first step toward finding our way through. Flip the card over and it's time to reframe, which is on the other side of the card, a different way to work with that emotion. So not to dismiss it or push it away, but to help you move through it with more ease. And the third step is to respond. The what's next when experience that overwhelming emotion. So today we're focusing on the emotion of fear and the reframe of flexibility. So grab a cuppa, settle in, and let's have a real conversation about this. Now, I've actually just come off a podcast recording with a really cool doctor from the US, one of the top cancer podcasts in the world, actually, and we talked about fear. Now, here's what he said that really stuck with me. He said, fear is a sign you're on the right path. It means you're about to level up, expand into something you've never experienced before. And that's a really common message in business and entrepreneurship coaching because fear means growth is coming. Fear, discomfort, uncertainty. Please don't see these as stop signs. See them as signs you're on the right track. Push through the fear, build confidence, gain clarity. Do the scary thing. It's all over. You'll learn from the lessons and you just move on. And look, get that. I've lived in that business space, but here's the thing. For me, I can't speak for anyone else, but I reckon a lot of you will relate to this. With cancer, that vortex of fear, it doesn't really ever go away. It's just always there. It's 3 a.m. and you're wide awake because you felt a twinge somewhere. It's the week before your blood test and your mind is already spiraling. It's hearing someone else's news and suddenly you're right back in that doctor's office hearing your own. This happened to me just the other day. Diagnosis all over again. So when it comes to working through and understanding fear, I've had to figure out what works for me. And what I've landed on is this. Feel the feels, control the controllables, pause, reflect, respond, and repeat and repeat. That's what's building my framework right now. And today I want to share why the framework from fear to flexibility has been so powerful, not just for me, but according to the research too. So let's start with what fear actually is, because here's the thing. Fear isn't a flaw in our design. It's actually a feature. Your brain has this little almond structure called amygdala. I can't even say it. And it's the whole job is to keep you safe. It's your internal threat detector. When it senses danger, real or perceived, it sets off this whole cascade in your body. Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure increases, blood moves away from your gut and into your muscles. Your pupils dilate and you will start sweating. Fight and flight at its finest. Sound familiar? That racing heart before a scan? That tightness in your chest when you're waiting for the results? That's what's happening. That's your body doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's preparing you to survive. The problem is, with cancer, the threat, having it clear before and after, there's no saber-toothed tiger to run from and then it's over because the fear doesn't get to switch off. Back in the day, I worked with a business model that I built for myself, the one that I was taught and the one that I used to grow my business, and it was a bit like a saber-toothed tiger. What started out as a cute little kitty soon began to grow. Oh, you cute little kitty cat, you're eating a lot of my time and energy now. And before you know it, you're riding that big beast holding on for your life. Well, that's how it felt for me growing my business. And when fear becomes chronic, when it always is there in the background, it starts to cost us. Research shows us that ongoing fear and stress can lead to fatigue, inflammation, and what the scientists call cortisol dysregulation. Basically, our stress hormones get stuck in high alert. But here's what the research also shows. It's not the fear itself that causes the most harm. It's how rigid we become in the response to it. Once upon a time, there were 2 trees in my front yard, a beautiful gum tree and a willow. And this is a true story. Think about a gum tree. tall, stiff, strong, ever present. But when a big wind comes, what happens? The branch snaps, it breaks, and it falls. Now think about a willow tree. It bends, it adapts, it moves with the wind, and when the storm passes, it's still standing. And this is where my metaphor comes in. I talk about this in my resilient, not relentless work, but it applies so beautifully here. That's the difference between rigidity and flexibility, resilience and relentlessness. When we meet fear with more fear, when we white-knuckle our way through, when we resist, when we try to control everything, we become like that gum tree. We might look strong on the outside, but on the inside, we're brittle and eventually something will break. But when we develop flexibility, when we learn to bend, to adapt, to move with what's happening instead of against it, we become like the willow. We survive. We might even thrive. And the research backs this up. Studies show that psychological flexibility, which is basically your ability to be present, to accept difficult thoughts and feelings and to still take action on what matters to you, significantly reduces the impact of fear on your quality of life. So what does flexibility actually look like in practice? It's not about pretending you're not scared. It's not toxic positivity. It's not good vibes only. Flexibility means you can feel the fear and still move towards what matters to you. It means instead of saying, I'm terrified it's coming back, you can say, I notice I'm having thoughts about recurrence. And that tiny shift creates just enough space to choose your response. It means you can hold two things at once. I'm scared and I'm okay right now. For me, at times, it's grief and gratitude. At times, the grief of losing what feels like everything I knew in life to finding gratitude even in the smallest moments. Those are those Serenity Now moments. The research calls this emotional complexity, being able to hold conflicting emotions at the same time. And people who can do this, they do show greater resilience. You can be afraid and live fully. Both are true. That's flexibility. So let me give you some practical tools. These are things you can do when fear shows up, and it will show up because that's what fear does. Number one, breathe into flexibility. Now, this one is backed by so much research. When you slow your breathing down to about 6 to 8 breaths per minute, you literally activate your parasympathetic nervous system. That's your rest and digest mode. You're telling your body, we're safe. We're safe. We can do this. Try this. Breathe in for 4 counts, out for 6 counts. Repeat that 5 times. That extended exhale is the key. It's like a reset button for your nervous system. Number 2, name it and tame it. Instead of I'm so scared, try I notice I'm having fearful thoughts right now. It sounds small, but it creates distance between you and the thought. You're observing the fear rather than being consumed by it. Number 3, ground yourself in the present. Fear loves to live in the future. What if it comes back? What if the treatment doesn't work? What if? So bring yourself back to now. What can you see? What can you hear? And what can you feel? Right now, in this moment, you're okay. And the easiest way to do this when things are chaotic is to focus on one thing. Be where your feet are. Not at your next appointment, not in 6 months, but right here. Literally look at your feet and take control of your body and focus on where your feet are. Are your shoes on? Are you standing on carpet? Is it floorboards? Is the dog curled up next to your feet? Now this brings you to where you should be, in the present. Remember the serenity prayer? God grant you serenity to accept what you cannot change, the courage to change the things you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Acceptance, courage, and wisdom in that order. And don't forget, you can swap out God to whoever you believe in, the universe, a higher power, or Dennis. Number 4, ask yourself one question. What's one small thing I can do right now that aligns with who I want to be? Not the big stuff, just one small thing. Maybe it's making a cup of tea. Maybe it's calling a friend. Maybe it's going for a walk. This is known as values-based action, even tiny actions on how we build flexibility. And number 5, not sure if you like this one, thank the fear. I know it sounds really strange, but try it. Thank you, fear, for trying to protect me, but I've got this. For me, I imagine fear as a monkey pacing at the back of my brain, back and forth, just waiting for food and to cause mischief. And I imagine looking at that monkey and I say, not today, fear. No oxygen for you, which is food. So just choose one moment at a time and not focus on that vortex of fear, because fear isn't the enemy. It's your nervous system doing its job. The goal isn't to eliminate fear. It's to develop a different relationship with it. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Fear is real, especially in cancer. Fear of reoccurrence is very real because research shows that nearly half of us experience that. You are not broken. You are not weak. You're human, but you don't have to be ruled by fear. The reframe isn't about being fearless. It's about being flexible. It's about becoming the willow tree instead of the gum tree. It's about bending without breaking. And it's about knowing that you can feel afraid and still have a life that matters. Thank you, fear, for your lessons, but you're not getting any of my oxygen today. And if this episode resonated with you, I'd love you to check out the Serenity Project website. Links are in the show notes. And if it has resonated with you, why not sign up for our newsletter? It's free. It's called The Check-In. And if you're finding value in these conversations, please share this episode with someone who might need it. We're all in this together. Until next time, please be gentle with yourself. In the next episode, we'll take a look at 3 powerful questions that have popped up recently, so keep an eye out for that. It's Bron here, and you've been listening to Serenity Rising, and make sure you make every day count. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great having you here. And what I would love you to do is leave a comment or ask a question using my fan link below this episode and on every episode that we post. I would love to hear your thoughts, your questions, and I'll get back to you. Have a great day and bye for now.